Summer is well and truly upon us, and you know what? It's time to get the short pants and the Gully Gara out as well. We have to embrace the outdoors.
I know we do, and nowadays we're all very sophisticated, kitted out in sunglasses and sun cream, aren't we, Johnny?
Notions.
Notions, dining al fresco in coffee shops and restaurants, but you know, it wasn't always like that, so was it?
Well, there's only one person now to set it straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interested to hear about this. So Shane Nahan is here to bring us down memory lane.
You know, Rachel, I was thinking about all the lovely summer memories. I love the summertime, you know. But you know, when we were young, one of the big summer treats was, you know, our fathers took us out for a spin in the car. That was a big part of what we do. Maybe packing up the car, going on holidays was one of the things I always remember. This is my pal Patrick Cregan. His dad had a cine camera, and I got this footage of him. Look, and they're going into the old car. They've all the stuff ready for the holidays and everything packed in. They're all dressed up because, you know, what's happening is actually they usually used to stop. They'd go to Kerry,
Yeah.
They'd stop maybe in Tralee for the lunch,
Yeah.
so they had the good clothes on for that and so on, you know. But it was magnificent. And what I thought about the car was this, is that whether you were going on holidays or whether you were going for a spin, which was generally what we did, everyone would be inside in the car, you know. We'd all be packed in,
Yeah.
we'd be piled
You
in.
would even find one of the neighbours inside in the
The
car.
whole lot of cousins
Like a
would be in the
tin
neighbourhood.
sardine.
There wasn't a seatbelt inside, that was
No.
the first thing, right? Okay, and your father would be flying along the road and we'd see a bridge coming or something like that, we'd say, hurry up, and we'd all be flying. And we'd take off into the air, you know, and we'd be delighted with ourselves. And you know, that time, you know, they'd be sitting down, I remember you'd be sitting on your brother's lap or something like that, a bony bottom, that was the word, because you'd be working your way in, you know. And quite often then my father, God be good to him, he used to have to stop the car and he'd say to cool the engine. But of course we'd always cool the engine in some hostelry. He'd go in, of course, and have a drink inside.
They were the side of the road.
They were different times and so on.
Yeah.
But you know, what I love then is we'd say, where are we going, Dad? Where are we going? You know, as far as Turnback, he'd say. And it used to drive us mad because we never knew where we were going to spin. It was usually to Goulgon-Barra. Beautiful Goulgon-Barra was my favourite places to go. And he'd go down, and if it was tea time, we'd have what was called the mixed grill then. And you know, the mixed grill was like the fry up really in the morning, except you'd get a lamb cutlet. Big long lamb cutlet would be there as well, you know. But sometimes we'd bring the flask with us, and I hated always drinking out of the plastic cup in the flask. Right? It was something awful, you know. But so I often thought about summer food, that sort of thing. And the other thing I brought in and brought great memories back was the summer salad. You know? We grew up, I suppose, on, you know, a piece of meat, potatoes and vegetables, a bit of gravy or whatever. Rachel, you're probably thinking of all of those different things we've changed. But we'd come in one day and we'd
Still one of my favourites.
We'd be shocked at the summer salad. We'd come in someday and I decided I'd make up what was traditionally the Irish summer salad long ago.
And the rolled up ham.
The rolled up ham. The ham was bought up in the shop. There were girls with kind of polystyrene coats or whatever on them, you know, shop coats, slicing ham all day long, and that was the main constituent of the salad that would be brought down. There was a piece of lettuce. There was no Lala Rossa. There was no Oakley lettuce. There was only one type of lettuce. Okay. We didn't know what vinaigrette was, okay? Like, there was no such thing as olive oil or mayonnaise. In fact, what we used to get was salad cream. What was ever in the salad cream? That was a great sort of
one. There was a nice thing after that. There was a kind of bitterness to it.
There was another side to the salad cream then as well. You had the Heinz potato salad or vegetable salad or Russian salad. Used to come in a tin. You got a dollop of that on it, okay? You had, of course, the boiled egg. You had the tomato, as well, a bit of the old Calvita cheese, sometimes there, beetroot, and that was the summer salad. And you know, when you look at it now, it was glorious, but we for some reason, it was so exotic in its time. We found it very well.
Yeah, way before
the stations as well.
The stations would come in, it was a ham lamb salad. That was often the thing that you would get. So we often thought as well then, what would we have to drink, you know? Sometimes there was no real lemonade at that same time. There was no Tanora or Coca-Cola, anything like that. We might get a cordial, you know, that was there. Very often you might get Ribena or something like that. But during Wimbledon, which came on, you get the Robinson's barley water. It was the one time in the year that would come out.
Because they used to sponsor it, didn't they? They were always drinking it at the side of the course.
And the television, of course, had just come on in the 1970s, so we were seeing it for the first time, and we saw this stuff, and we'd be plaguing our mothers to get the barley water and so on. But out would come the old tennis rackets. And listen, I'm delighted, get this one. you'd have the catgut, as we called it, and so on.
Yeah.
And we'd be all playing tennis for the entire
Thinking
time.
of
We'd
John
be
McEnroe or Bjorn
over
Borg.
a gate or something like that, okay? But when that wasn't the case, then we'd have a game of rounders, okay? And rounders was a great summer game. When I was growing up in Cork City, we could have 20, 30, possibly 40 kids
Rounders is a great
all
game.
playing together. And what would happen is that you'd be there, you'd be batting, and you'd hit the ball, banish the ball. That was the phrase. What I loved often is that you were playing the game, and in the middle of it all, the O'Hurleys or the Driscolls, they might have to go in for their tea. So they'd rush in the door, they'd wolf down their tea in the space of about 2 minutes, and they'd be back out again when the crowd was still running around, you know. So we had all those wonderful sort of times. Then what would happen, of course, is that tennis would finish. The next thing was the Aga Khan would come on, and it would be the Dublin Horse Show. And you know, we'd make little fences and everything, and we'd be little horses. We'd be patting away, we'd be going along like this, you see, and we'd make little jumps. And it was so funny for no reason at all, because we were watching it on television. You'd be going, you do a refusal.
Yeah.
You'd go back up. and you know, you give yourself 2 falls, whatever. And I think the Olympics are coming on this year, obviously. We used to do the same thing, long jumps, high jumps, races. We used to race around the park, and some fellas were so clever, if they were falling behind, they'd cut a dash through someone's garden and come out, and they'd be in the lead coming around the bend, you know. So we had all those men.
But fierce fun altogether, and it was so simplistic in one sense, though, Shane.
It really was, you know. We had such innocent times. Then the Merries used to come in, right? And the Merries, right? And I love that.
The merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round,
Yeah.
When I
That's safety out the window here. It's fair to say, Shane.
absolutely. Like we had, like you had the swing boats long ago. Like there was no mechanical power. You weren't doing it yourself. You might have a fellow with an old ratchet, and he turning along the aeroplanes. My God, tonight a little chain holding you in when you
Yes.
and so on. And then we had the bumpers. Like for me, the bumpers.
The heads and the necks going like
That's
this.
it. Whiplash centre.
Yeah.
You're absolutely, and the smell of the electrical
I
thing
know,
going
I just
along the
didn't get it.
top.
Yeah.
And yet in America they were called the Dodgems. In Ireland they were definitely the bumpers. You wanted a head-on collision as much as you could.
There was nothing worse than a head-on collision, one of those.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
but it was so much fun. Like, and that's what we did. And when the money would go out and would stop in the next crowd, you were so fed up getting out of the bumpers. And of course, you had, you know, we became rifle ranges. Then we all were kind of absolutely accurate with all of those sort of things as well. And you had the candy floss and the special foods that were a part of all of that.
I love
So the Merries were great. I would say Merries to my American students, they had no idea what I was talking about. But the fun fair or the carnival was always the Merries that were there.
They're a lot posher these days than what we had. But those
Even the one in,
symbols.
the one in Kinsale. That was there just up until about a year ago. Now it's Corkmore.
yeah.
You just French fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was so many other things. The other thing we used to do, and it was probably politically incorrect, is that we used to go stealing apples then. We called it slogging apples, okay?
Yeah.
So if you live in the countryside, there were plenty of apples for everyone. But in the city, somebody had apple trees in their gardens, you know? And it was like a little military operation. We'd be planning all of that out, and we'd push some fella in over the wall, and he'd be left inside. But sure, it was ridiculous because the apples weren't ripe. And we couldn't distinguish between an eater and a cougar. And you bringing them out, you couldn't bring them home to your mother. And I think of that sort. So it was completely ridiculous.
Well, you told them
altogether.
about it, that's what
And
happened.
then somebody would notice there was gooseberries or goosegogs, as we used to call them. Sure, they were as sour as anything altogether. So
Just before we move on, we have some beautiful pics here. You might tell us who's inside in these pics.
listen, these were our spins going away as we were children, and I suppose we were lucky. My dad had a camera, so here I'm not in this particular one. This is my brother Anthony and my sister Karen and Barry and Rory, my brother. There I am on the right there, the small fella. Notice how
on the very right or second from right.
I have the fella with the anorak because I was the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay, but look,
You weren't in the Clancy brothers that time.
we made those fantastic. My aunt made those iron jumpers for us, and there I am on the front of the boat. That's down in beautiful Glandore. All part of those summer spins in the car. You know, that lovely sense of nostalgia that we had. All enjoying it, and you know, it's great.
And to be enjoyed again this summer as well. If you go away with your family, take loads of pics and be on TV, you know, in 30 years' time.
And put on the seatbelt. That's very important.
That's
very
Shane, good morning. Thanks for being with us all season as well, Shane. Always great.
Absolutely.
It's competition time now, and the stunning 5-star Glenlow Abbey Hotel recently added the lodges, some stunning self-catering residences nestled among 138 acres on the banks of Lough Corrib, and the perfect home away from home for families, golf or getaways, and groups of any size. And each lodge really feels like just yours.